Well, greetings. I am grabbing four questions here. Julie started it off, and I'm making a cameo. Let's see. We've got in 1980, Domino's large pizza cost $4.99. What would be the cost of that pizza in 1995 dollars? Now we're making an assumption here. Do you know what the assumption is? The assumption is we're assuming that the price of a Domino's large pizza increased by the same rate as inflation. That's the assumption we're making. Okay, so we're going to need the annual rate for 1980, which is 82.4 there, and the annual rate for 1995, which is 152.4 there. So we're going to use those two numbers as a ratio. Remember, this is our fixed basket of goods. So what it means, what this ratio is really giving to us, it's saying that if something cost $82.40 in 1980, that same basket of goods would cost $152.40 in 1995. So we're saying that if a Domino's pizza cost $4.99 in 1980, what would be its comparable value if it went up by the rate of inflation? And so it's just setting up a proportion, cross multiplying and dividing, which you can do really well. So I'm assuming you can cross multiply, right, and divide. Be cross multiplying and then dividing, and you would get $9.23. So if it went up by the rate of inflation between 1980 and 1995, then it would cost $9.23 in 1995. Okay, question 2. The Consumer Price Index is designed to, let's just look at here the Consumer Price Index. These are the years, and this is the cost of that average basket of goods each year. Basically, what's being measured here and what's being taken into account is the inflation rate. So with the Consumer Price Index is designed to tell us the current cost of living for an average person? No. There's nothing about the cost of living per average person. There's just a fair comparison of how prices change with time. So the correct answer there is B. Describe how the cost of gasoline has nothing to do with the cost of gasoline. You can extrapolate from the cost of gasoline, but what it is, it's providing a fair example, a fair comparison of how prices change with time. So the third one, it says, in 1976, a certain model car cost $5,000. What would be the cost of that car in 2012 dollars? Now, as far as the car goes, we're assuming that it's going up by the rate of inflation, which the Consumer Price Index checks, right? So we're going to find both 1976 and 2012 from our table. And I'll write those up there. So here is our rate from the CPI table. In 1976, you can look at it this way, it took $56.90 to buy this particular basket of goods. While in 2012, it took $229.60 to buy the same basket of goods. You can look at this like two completely different currencies, like dollars and yen, because that's how different they are. And of course, the 5,000 goes in the numerator because that is the cost in 1976. So now I'm just gonna cross multiply and divide. Why don't you try that and we'll compare our answers. And so we cross multiplied and then divided, and I got 20,176 rounded to the nearest dollar. So if the cost of a car went up by the increase of inflation between 1976 and 2012, a $5,000 car would cost 20,176. That's what it means. So problem 4 is, according to the New York Times article on December the 13th, 2009, the average selling price of a 32-inch LCD TV was $600. What would be the cost of the same TV in 2013 dollars? So I'm going to go to my table for December of 2009 and find the average cost of that basket, the cost of that basket of goods, and then I'm going to find 2013 and put those up there. So I have the December of 2009 cost of the basket of goods, and that same basket cost in 2013 dollars. And that obviously the 600 is 2009. So I'm going to cross multiply and divide, and going to determine not what the cost was, but what the cost would be if the LCD TV had gone up by the rate of inflation. So why don't you try cross multiplying and dividing that, and we'll compare answers. Okay, so I cross multiplied and divided and came up with it should cost, if it went up by inflation, $650. But look, today it costs $130. So what does that all mean? Well, what it means is that an LCD TV has been dropping in price. It is going contrary to the average consumer price index. In other words, it just is an outlier. And there are many outliers. The CPI is just simply the average. And let me give you a list of different averages here.